Hello and welcome once again. Let me turn this screen around. Thank you for tuning in here once again for the walk and talk format, walking on Earth. And we're right back here, we're right back at Earth, on Earth. Get my proposition right. And it's great that you're tuning in here once again. This is the format where, as I've said before, I free flow information, ideas and concepts, as well as my own personal, hermetically sealed experiences, and try and view them from a holistic perspective. This is where I like to delve into the hidden workings of psychology and how our very nature of our being, the very nature of our being, is inherently covert. This has everything to do with the workings of the subconscious, that is also called the unconscious. So the relationship between the unconscious and the conscious mind. And you see, this is the way we as mankind have been played by these dark occult forces. They work with our psychology, and it's about time that we regain the knowledge of how we're being played and checkmate the whole game completely, holistically, not just for ourselves, but for all of mankind, for all of the human family. And I wish that everyone enjoyed the video from Vienna, the walk and talk that I did there. I mightily enjoyed it. I also enjoyed watching it, by the way. I wanted to say a side note also. Excuse my French at times, or when I mispronounce things in English, when I wanted to point out the sculptures, okay? The sculptures that you saw in Vienna, the enormous beauty of those sculptures, and me referring to the fact that they weren't built by the Roman Catholic Church, but by an ancient civilization, far more advanced spiritually, technologically, and all the rest. I meant sculptures, not statues. Statues, as I looked up, because it's in German, it's Statue, but statutes are basically the workings of this criminal system. They set up statutes or laws that are not laws, okay, and there's a key difference. So I just wanted to point that out, that I also, because I free flow all of this information, I tend to also realize the mistakes that I make. And it's a great example of talking about how real learning happens and how it works. You see the mistakes that you make and you point them out to yourself and you try and correct them. And it's the beauty of the simplicity has it that with a simple example like that, you make a mistake, a spelling mistake, using the wrong word, for example, when there's another word for it. And the simplicity of it has it that you can explain another concept with that also, and that is the nature of evil and what evil really is. You see, there's many people in the world that talk about being, I've seen this in my time now on Twitter. I've nearly been a month now on Twitter. Hey! And you see these different profiles where people claim they are an earth goddess, a goddess of Mother Earth, Gaia. Okay, this is what interests us here at the Gnostic Takeover. We stand for nature, for natural intelligence, and there's also other people who claim that they are light workers and they work for the light and only the light. However, how would you be able to know what the light truly is when you don't have a clear, exact understanding of what the nature of evil is? In other words, we can comprehend the light when we know how the shadow realm operates. And this is a very simple explanation for what I want to do here at the Gnostic Takeover and what I'm building up towards with the Mentalist information channel that I'm creating right now, is to decipher the workings of the shadow world and therefore transcend the shadow world and anchor in the light of the truth. And this is what we do here, and has everything to do with knowing and understanding what the matrix really is and how we get out of the matrix that controls us, that keeps us enslaved, that keeps us going round in circles. I don't know if any of you are in the process of figuring that out, if you have encountered that theme in your life yourself, that things seem to be going round in a circle, and sometimes it even seems like nothing really is ever changing. Drop me a comment underneath in the description if you've had these sorts of feelings. I know myself that in the times that I used to have, okay, this was especially in the decade between 2010 to 2020, where I had very deep episodes of depression. It got so severe at times that for many months I wasn't even able to meet my friends anymore, friends that I had back in the day anyway. And I would even go into a pub, for example, and meet them, and I would have to leave inside 5 minutes because I didn't even know what I should talk to them. And so I went back to being on my own, and I did this for many months. And then there was phases where life seemed to progress again, and I was building myself up after 5-6 months of depressions. Usually at springtime, my spirit would be ignited, the alchemical flame within me would be ignited again, and at the latest, round about the end of August, when slowly the autumn time crept in again, I'd be running out of steam, and the light of the alchemical flame that was shining for many months, and I thought that my life was progressing in the right way, it diminished again, and I went back into depression mode again for another few months. So it was like going round in a circle, not knowing how to get out of it. And I now know that this circular movement is the workings of the artificial matrix. You see, it depends on us if we take the experiences of our life and choose to transform these nightmares we may have experienced and transform them into the light, into actual wisdom that can be of great help to many people. And that's up to us, what we make of our experiences, because throughout our life, no matter where you stand right now in your life, we're being guided. There is a source of intelligence, our source, heart-based intelligence, that has been guiding us throughout our lives. Throughout our life. Ever since we were born, it has been here. And this is also one of the foundational aspects. What I want to do here at the Gnostic Takeover is assist people to find their own guidance again and be able to live with that guidance and reconnect to our true self. So I've had some really deep experiences in my life. Those depressions that I suffered from, they've made me the empathic man that I am now. And yeah, it's beautiful. Now take a look at that. This is what has healed me. It's the workings of nature. This is the main source of healing. And it comes by ways of knowledge, true knowledge, gnosis. And you see, I like to share anything that comes to my mind. I had basic ideas of what I want to talk about with today's video, because Liz was asleep just now and I actually wanted to go for a walk, and because she was still asleep I thought I'll just head out and do a short video and share with you. And you see, oh, look at that. Oh, I just saw a deer there. Beautiful. What a lovely deer. But it was too quick for me to be able to film it. What a beautiful sign also. That's lovely. And it really... You know, Vienna is my home. I think you saw how happy I was. It was the first time being in Vienna ever since I moved out from there in 2021 in June, and I really missed Vienna, and I would like to go there for a few days on the trot actually, and let's see if I can make this happen. Let's see if the guidance of my source can make it happen. And it's so beautiful to be out here in nature now. This is also my home. Yeah, get wonderful music here. And yeah, I had a major breakthrough yesterday, in actual fact. Yeah, me and Liz, just to share my personal story with all of you, as I did just now also, but what's happening right now is that me and Liz, at the beginning of this week, since Monday, we have eliminated sugar and wheat from our diet. Now, go ahead and just write a comment maybe on if you've tried that before, or what sort of dietary experiments you've made, and in general, how do you think about what you eat? How much of an emphasis or importance do you place onto it? And as I said, we dropped sugar and wheat, and inside 2 days, on the second day, geez, the avalanche of deep-seated emotions that revolve around my own childhood trauma were released. It was an avalanche. Happened yesterday. And it was incredible. I didn't expect it, but it's so interesting what happens when you drop habits, when you drop something that has been in your life and you've not really questioned it. Something like sugar, something like wheat. I mean, I know that sugar has the addiction similar to heroin, maybe even worse. And also the wheat, I knew about the wheat also. However, it sort of always snuck in, like this is the workings of the unconscious mind. You see, the conscious mind may know this sort of information. The conscious mind may know what is good and what is bad for us, what is right and what is wrong. However, it may be that in the unconscious we continue habits or behaviors that are not good for us. And it was a great experiment, and it continues to be a great experiment. I just made a really lovely lentil dish, an Indian lentil dish, and instead of using vinegar I used lime and lemon juice, and it was just so delicious. And this is what really, I mean, I love to cook, by the way. I'm not just an information alchemist, I'm a cooking alchemist. I'm an alchemist in the kitchen also. I'm the cook, you see. And I just wanted to share with you also the beautiful nature that we have right here, because I always love to share some nature with you also. Look at that. Find the calmness within by attuning to the resonance of nature. So what I realized is that things like sugar, wheat and coffee, not to mention the alcohol. Okay, I used to go big on alcohol. I loved drinking beer at the weekends. And I used to have times also where I enjoyed drinking during the week also. I'd love to party basically. Up until I immersed myself deeper into my work with plant medicine, ayahuasca and datura, and what they communicated to me through this connection that I have with the plant medicine. This is a fascinating topic that I would like to talk more about in a future walk and talk or video. It communicated to me, the plant medicine, the plant kingdom intelligence. Oh, you want to take back the earth? Oh, you want to take down the criminals? Then you gotta stop eating meat. You need to stop drinking alcohol. You need to stop smoking weed. And you need to stop smoking in general. Tobacco also. So I dropped all of that. And still, there's other habits that I've since also stopped. Now, I was talking to you about my experiment that I've stopped watching football also. And today, by the way, is the biggest game of the season of what is actually my former club, because I don't do the club anymore. I've made a clear choice. And by the way, this is Arsenal against Manchester City in this fake virtual reality simulation game called football. and it's the biggest game of the season, and I've dropped the whole lot already. Since Saturday, I've not looked at any football news because I told you that I was doing it. However, I can share with you also, I had setbacks. I peeked into the football news. Basically, being brutally honest with myself. That's what we need, a big dose in our awakening, being brutally honest with ourselves. Is I was bullshitting myself, basically. Okay, and it's okay. Because I have to admit, it's a real hardcore addiction. Getting rid of football was more difficult than all the other addictions that I've let go. And you see, this is true awakening. Letting go of old habitual habits that at the core, these habits of addiction we have due to compensation. And this is what happens in this artificial matrix all the time. It's addiction driven. People can't go to work without their coffee, and they can't continue their work lifestyle 9 to 5 if they don't get pissed out of their head at the weekends. I mean, let's be honest with it. However, that's the simplicity of honesty is the very basis where 99% of humanity still fails. Even though we've just experienced the first effect of what the behavior that we've been indoctrinated with, all these bad habits that we have, especially in the Western world, okay, where it's possible for us to have a good life when you're normal, and that's what we have. I mean, the effects that we had since 2020, I mean, I just knew this is the time, and there's no other way than I have to look at my shadow. And Carl Jung, the psychologist Carl Jung, said that the destiny of humanity lies in uncovering, and I would say also revealing, the workings of the shadow. And he's absolutely right. That's the apex point. That's the point of leverage where we can turn the whole situation here on Earth around by knowing the workings of the shadow. So let me just put a little bit more nature into view. So the sun's going down now. And that now fits together the other dot that I talked about before, which is the nature of evil. We have to know what evil is, and know that evil is transpersonal. It's not just out there, the evil that we can see, the banking system, this incredible crime that has just happened to humanity and continues to happen to mankind, all the collateral damage of this way out of control situation ever since the beginning of this decade. Oh yeah, we can see evil. We can see evil in the way people have been lied to, and the propaganda in the media and the deception. However, we need to find the roots of evil, and that is within ourselves. And evil has everything to do with ignorance. Ignorance. When we realize there's not just harm that we do to other people, okay, well, I can say, oh, I'm not evil. Oh, there's nothing evil about me because I've not shot anyone, okay? I've not gone into a fight or punched a guy or, source forbid, punch a woman. Oh, I'm not evil, therefore. But what people forget is the harm that we do to ourselves with the habits that damage ourselves, that have a profound effect on our life. And coming back to the point from before, so evil again is ignorance. Something gets pointed out to us, however we look the other way. And I know it's happened to me also. I've looked the other way often enough. I'm ready to admit it. However, seeing that everything that we've experienced ever since this COVIDian cult has gone full steam psychopathic the last 3 years, I knew I had to change the world. And the world changes through my change and transformation of my psychological, spiritual, emotional and mental dynamics. The microcosm of the inner kingdom. Becoming sovereign, I myself becoming sovereign, is the only foundation that I can take back the earth. This is the only way it works, and many people have talked about this and many people have pointed it out. Be the change that you want to see in the world. However, how do we actually really apply it? And as I've started in this video, as I've said, I've had a major breakthrough yesterday. Because by leaving out the sugar and the wheat, those are two components that are awareness blockers, I call them. They specifically block your awareness from transcending out of this matrix control system. And there's others too. If you're more interested, go ahead and write a comment and I can go deeper into that. And by leaving that out, my childhood trauma aspects of my childhood trauma of myself came to the surface yesterday. This avalanche of suppressed emotions that have everything to do with the traumatization that we experienced as children, and that everyone, I would say, in this world has experienced as children, because the nature of evil, okay, and the spirit of evil will find a way to everyone because they want to keep this control system going. They don't want people to take back the earth. They especially don't want the Gnostic takeover being successful in this constant message that I'm pounding here. Because I focus my attention on it, and that's why I've got the military black helicopters flying and hovering above my head every day, and they can't touch me because I'm under the highest form of protection there is. And with these videos that I do here, I'm basically sharing my journey of taking back the earth, and I need other people also joining in. Not necessarily required, because I'm maneuvering myself into a state of sovereignty. Sovereignty doesn't need anything outside of itself. However, people will be magnetically attracted to the proposition that I make, which is we take back the earth. This is what this time is for. You love nature? Well, go and take it back. Inside of yourself first, and then outside of the self. And we take back the earth outside of ourselves, because it's, you see, this is only half the deal. when people say, oh, you can only change yourself and you can only change what's inside yourself. But then you also have to apply it. This is where people stop. Hold criminals liable. Write a notice of liability. This is why I'm also setting up my unique course on law, on how to hold liable people working in criminal corporations like we're doing right now, me and Liz. We're holding liable the telecommunications company IBAN here in Austria for reasons because they don't want to, because we've quit the contract that we had with them, with the internet that we had. We quit the contract and they don't want us. They don't want us quitting the contract, and they would just let it run for another year. Although we don't have any internet connection from them anymore, they would just let it run for another year. And we are holding them liable for it because this multinational, psychopathic, run by psychopaths corporation that is liable to the infinite for the illegal and genocidal, ecocidal rollout of 5G technology all across Austria and in other countries in Europe, we're taking a stand. So it's not just sovereignty inside, but also applying sovereignty in the outside. So, coming back to the point again, I had a massive breakthrough. The trapped emotion came to the surface, and you know what I did? This is why I want to share with you. If there's someone who's listening who really resonates with this information and who this information really helps. By the way, just write underneath in the comments if you enjoy these videos. Should I make more of these videos? Or what sort of topic are you interested in listening to? What would you like to hear? What would you like my take on? Okay, should we talk about Q and Trump? Nah, it's a little boring, isn't it? It's pretty quickly solved. Or AI, 5G, there's much more to talk about here with the AI takeover that they try but have already failed. Okay, sorry guys, but not sorry. I had a massive breakthrough, and it's emotional turmoil, and I'll have to go into more specifics and to more depth than I'm doing here to really explain what goes on there. But basically, I've got the beautiful sun here in the background. Basically, whenever you see, when we've been so conditioned to only feel good feelings, we've been so conditioned, this is part of the control system, that we only want joy, or we only want to feel good all the time. That's not how life works. Okay, there's not just one element in nature, but there's 4 elements plus the 5, which makes the 5-pointed star, the spirit above the elements, which is all about the mastery of mental forces. Okay, this is what we'll get into, the mentalist material. Be master of mental forces, and it's the challenge. It's the ultimate challenge. I'm an information alchemist, I'm a mentalist, but I'm learning my craft still, you see. There's not just one element. There's 4 elements. There's not just joy, there's also tears, like the water of the river that flows. Let the water flow, and this is what I did yesterday. Or the earth when it's trembling out of fear. That's also the fear emotion. The fear emotion is not bad. It's bad when you make it so. Oh, we've got the beautiful sunshine. Let me capture it. Yeah. Wonderful. So the fear is not bad. Fear is what can get us out of the comfort zone and confront that fear. Okay, what is it? Why are you winding me up? Why should I be in fear? I was in fear of the police because I had a trauma with 17 where they freaking raided my house. I was 17 back in the day. They were looking for weed, didn't find any weed, and treated me like a criminal back then I was traumatized. That's why I had the confrontation with the police last year, which got rid of that. I don't fear the police anymore. Whenever we drive with our car, before we get into the car, we command the shit out of it. We command the shit out of the police, and we command that all evil is banned. In my experience of reality, that's what we do. This is how you do it. So we've been so conditioned. You see so many things dropping in as I speak. We've been so conditioned to just feel good emotions that actually when the bad, quote unquote, bad emotions come to the surface, we feel, oh, I've got a bad day now. Oh, this is not good. How do you feel? Oh, I'm really bad. Yeah, I would say that too. Okay, I'm now in a state where I can observe it. I've experienced it yesterday. This is what I would say. I feel shit today. But from a higher perspective, if we can take that higher perspective, actually, when you feel bad, when the bad happens, it's actually good. Because what happens is that your childhood trauma, the traumatization that keeps us and keeps the gates of the prison locked, is when these emotions, these trapped emotions, stay in the unconscious. However, when they filter through and come up into the conscious mind, it's actually cause for celebration. It's like the sun. We can't only ever have the sun, it's an illusion. We have clouds also, which form the shadow. And it's up to us what we make of this innate nature of reality. It's up to us what we make of it. So the bad becomes good because things are moving. The energies are moving, and the shit has to come up first. Excuse my French. The shit has to come up first to be purified and eliminate it. And then the energy can flow again. And that's what me and Liz are doing. Let the shit come up so the sun can shine. Let it come up. Yeah. I am the evil. I am the light. I'm both, taking responsibility for it. Evil is the old habits and patterns that keep me identified with an old state of perception in which doesn't suit to my life anymore. Okay? Steve wants to be an information alchemist, information warrior of the extreme. I am the danger taking back the earth. He can't be watching freaking football. Which is human trafficking, basically. All these players that get sold for millions. It's human trafficking, mate. When you have eyes to see. Oh, and they make war propaganda about the Ukraine, everyone wearing their Ukraine badge. And I just should look the other way because Steve wants to watch his football game. No! Grow some balls, wake up, take full responsibility, and eliminate the evil inside yourself. And then you got a real shot of being the danger of taking down all evil for good, forever. So we've got the train coming now. This has been a wonderful talk once again. Episode 5, by the way, and we just keep going. Much more coming your way here at the Gnostic Takeover. Until next time, take very, very good care. Love yourself, always, and much love. Bye bye.